All right, we'll go ahead and get started now. So hello and welcome to today's webinar. My name is Billy Burnett and I'm on the marketing team here at XTM. I'm delighted to see so many people here today to learn about the new XTM and XTRF integration. With that, let's have a quick look at the agenda for today. So the agenda today is very simple. So after a very brief introduction, we'll spend the majority of our time in a live demonstration of this integration, closing out with a brief Q&A session if time permits. Next, I would like to introduce today's speakers. So after some introductions by me, we'll pass it over to Vasilis Moskovs, and he is our XTM expert that works with clients all around the world, designing to help them better understand how to leverage XTM. And we're also joined by Bartosz Gomula, who is a solutions architect for XTRF. So those two individuals will be our guides for today's webinar as we walk through the demonstration portion of today. So before we dive into the demonstration itself, I'd like to just give a very brief introduction to both XTM and XTRF for anyone on today's webinar that may not already be familiar. So we'll start with XTM, and XTM is the leading enterprise translation management system that empowers enterprises to go global at scale by harnessing the most advanced linguistic technology, intelligent automation, and AI. XTM Cloud helps you automate and centralize the entire localization process with powerful integrations to leading tools like content management systems, language technology, machine translation, and more. Companies that are using XTM are saving on internal and external costs, speeding up their time to market, and making better use of their valuable resources. And then XTRF. XTRF offers powerful translation project management for language service providers and enterprises. XTRF helps you link your client requirements, your company's internal processes, and vendor management in one seamless online environment. It is one of the most highly configurable business manager platforms available, with workflows and automations that can be customized to reflect any translation process flow. Using XTRF, you can increase margins, speed up project delivery, achieve higher quality translations, and ultimately gain greater insights to power your business forward. So with that said, now is the time to dive into the integration and to see our demonstration. So with that, I'm going to quickly change presenters to over to Vasilis, and Vasilis should be able to guide us through the demonstration for today. So Vasilis, I'm going to attempt to pass this to you, and hopefully you're able to start sharing your screen. Let me know if not.
Thank you, Billy. You should be able to see my screen now. Okay, everybody. So for those of you who are not familiar with XTM, this is XTM. I'm logged in as a project manager and admin, so I have full access to the system. I'm in God mode. And essentially what we're going to do now is create a project and then move that project, push that content onto XTRF, where Bartosz will take over and present the XTRF aspect of the integration. So I'm going to add a project. And the first thing we need to add is a customer, which essentially in XTM, a customer is a container for translation memory, terminology, and configuration. And then we can also add a project name. So I think this is appropriate. All the other fields can also be added, but XTM relies heavily and creates powerful automation. So I'm just going to use a template, which will contain the entire configuration of my project in one click. So I already set up my source language, target languages, and everything else has been pre-configured. Now, the only thing I need to add are some files for translation. So let's go with my trusted source files here. Let's do something simple. And I think I've used this before, so it should be part of the TM. So everything has been pre-configured. We're also using machine translation here, DeepL, and I just have to create the project. And now XTM communicates with XTRF via APIs, and now Bartosz should take over and present the XTRF side. I will stop sharing my screen, and hopefully Bartosz can share his.
Yes, I can. Thank you very much, Vasilis. Just give me a second and I will share my screen.
It's great.
All right, it's great that you can see it. So
Yes.
now we are in XTRF, and basically, if I refresh the page, because I was waiting for this moment to come, the project should be there. 1 second, here it goes. Let's reload. Seems like the empty is still running on. Basically, when everything is set up, everything is done, the project should be popped up in here, as it is always the demo presenter's case appears, but again, it should be within 15 to 30 seconds. Yeah, it's here. As you can see, the client name matches, the name of the project is also there. And if I press it, I will be redirected to the smart project connected to XTM. For people who are not familiar with XTRF, or people who have used XTM integration but in the classic projects, I will do a brief introduction of the smart projects here. This is a single page project layout, which means that you can scroll everything from top to bottom. I will quickly explain all the cards in here so everybody is on the same page. As you can see, the name of the project is on the top. We can see the date in which it was ordered on. Next, we see the languages. Vassilis has selected English, US to German. Process, automatically connected to XTM based on the template or predefined workflow steps. XTRF will take them and use them in this kind of visual graph in here, which we are going to use for vendor management. Jobs card is more detailed information about what we've seen here. Files, of course, we will see that we have metrics downloaded from the XTM that will help us calculating all the financial responsibilities, as well as the link to the XTM workbench, which would be available by a vendor. Finances, as I mentioned, based on the fact that we have downloaded the analysis from XTM, the finance part is already pre-filled. Don't worry about the empty cost. It is because XTRF requires a vendor to be logged into place before calculating payables. But nevertheless, I will show you that first receivables are here. We will see all the different match types, a lot of machine translation matches, and the price, the basic rate taken from the client's profile is 0.85 euro, and the rate origin is price list, means that XTRF automatically selected this price for this particular project on few criteria. The similar thing is visible in the payables, but the basic rate is not filled in because of the providers being on the fact that there is no provider selected yet. Next, we see people that are responsible for the project from both XTRF and clients, and of course vendors as well, providers as well, as soon as we select them. In XTRF, you have an option to rate your vendors through job evaluation, send the client satisfaction survey after the project was finished to see how good the project management was, as well as an option to receive a feedback, whether it's a complaint or approval. And then lastly, we can see history, which is basically everything that is happening in the project from start to finish. All right, so let's move back to the top of the page and let's dive into what this integration actually allows us to do. So first thing that you will see is volume. This volume is being taken directly from the receivables, which means that the amount of words in this project is taken from the metrics from XTM. It allows us to automatically calculate the start date and deadline of the jobs. Those dates here, you see that it was set up for 4 hours. are calculated because of the volume. Next, I mentioned already, the files are there, which means that what's left for us to do is to select the vendors, and then Vasilis will do the translation in the workbench and review as well. To select the vendor to job, you have 2 or 3 options basically. If somebody has been using smart projects or classic projects in XTRF, the options are really similar. For those people who are not familiar with XTRF, let me give a quick introduction as well. First is an option to select provider from this place. If I press this button, you will see a detailed information about the vendors. You can filter those out through many different filters. Some of the filters are already predefined, taken from the settings of the project, such as a job type, language combination, and specialization. And if I would select it through this way, it is like point your finger at somebody and tell them, all right, you are going to work for this. It might be efficient for internal linguists, but this does not send a job offer or not notifies the vendor that he or she was selected, which of course, if somebody was not notified through other means, it could cause an issue. So we are going to use the job offers for today. First, here there are 2 options. First one is select providers according to rule, which is a predefined criteria that takes into account many factors, which XTRF will follow through, creating a cascading system, which means that based on few options, we will see exactly how it pans out in the process. You see that there are 3 cascades. The first cascade is being sent out immediately, then after a certain amount of time, in our case in 10 minutes, the second cascade being sent out, and this until all the vendors from this list have received their own job offer. To make it a little bit more simpler, I'm going to use the select providers manually, and I'm going to just send it to specified few people here. I've selected those people manually to the list of job offers, and now I need to let them know, all right, they're going to have 1 hour to accept the offer. The status of the translation has changed to offer sent, meaning that right now we will be waiting until the vendor responds. So just give me a second. I'm going to switch the role from being a project manager to being a vendor. Hopefully you see it now. Yes, I can see it in the preview. All right, that's great. In the job offer, there might be quite a lot of those, so it's on the top. That's great. This is a vendor portal. Right now, I'm being a vendor. This is the option of having the combined work with XTM guys, that we have a cut analysis taken from there. The vendor can see exact matches, exact prices, and can make an educated decision to whether he or she wants to start. But let's say, to not prolong it too much, that I accept this job. And this is, of course, where the magic happens for the vendor. They have a work file here, and the only thing that is left to do is basically enter workbench. I would press this to open a link, and then the Vasilis will translate it in XTM. So I will also attempt to pass it back to Vasilis.
Thank you, Bartosz. Now you should be able to see my screen. So this is XTM Workbench, our integrated CAD tool. And as you can see, we already have some segments locked and set already as ice matches, so in context exact matches. Everything else, as you can see, is machine translated. We use DeepL, so we have the translation from DeepL. And if I was to translate this, I would just go ahead and perform a translation or simply post-edit it because it is already being machine translated. And I can finish the task and then move it forward to the next step. So I'm just going to set everything to done quickly. So go from incomplete to completed. And now I can finish the task. So I'm going to finish it as a PM here. Just go into the workflow and set it to done. Okay, so now I'm going to stop sharing my screen, Bartosz, and it's back to you.
Thank you very much. So let's wait a moment here and wait till integration syncs up the data taken directly from XTM. So the synchronization happens automatically when the vendor finishes the work in the XTM. I don't have to do anything. For the people that are familiar with XTRF, it is something that happens automatically. You don't need to press anything back in vendor portal. You don't need to do anything from here. As soon as we receive a call from XTM, we mark this translation as ready. So now we go to the second part in review, but beforehand, I would like to confirm basically what I have been saying about the finances, that the moment we select the vendor, the costs appears. Of course, right now it's only for translation. The proofreading will come in a second, but it's all in here, clearly visible with the basic rate attached, taken directly from this vendor's profile, from JP Gorman's profile, and attached to the finances. So quickly, let's redo the same step. I will assign somebody this time by hand to avoid sending the offers. So let me quickly just choose Ola. And I will start it for her. Of course, the moment I press start, the notification will go out and notify Ola about the fact that the job has been started. And now we go back to vendor portal for just a second. Jobs in progress, this one. The view is almost identical. So right now, again, the same thing happens. I press on the link as a vendor, as Ola, and I'm going to review what the JP Gorman has done in the past. So again, I'm switching back to Vasilis just for the brief last moment.
Thank you, Bartosz. Let me share my screen. Okay, you should be seeing my screen now. And this is the second step. We are in review. And in the review option, we have same matching as before. this case, we still have machine translation as it was done in translation. I can again finish the task. I'm just going to quickly turn everything into a completed status for the segments. I don't really care about the quality of the translation here. So let's go from incomplete to completed. Everything is done, good to go, and I can simply finish the task here. And now it should be back to Bartosz. So I'll stop sharing my screen, Bartosz, and hand it over to you again.
All right. Thank you very much. Again, we are here. We see that Ola is still working on it, let's say. But if I refresh the page, as we could see on the Vasilis screen, that Ola has finished the work by the hands of Vasilis. And if I refresh it, everything should be marked as ready. The whole project is closed. There is nothing else left to be done. One quick notion in here that the files are, as the project originated from XTM, we do not download the files in here. We just send it back to the XTM, and this is where the files are obtained. The whole finances are here. We see the total cost, we see the total agreed. We can start the invoicing process, either sending the provider income statement to the vendors or waiting for them to send the invoice to us, send an invoice to our client, and basically the project management here is done. Would you like Vasilis to show that the target file is in XTM?
Yes, 1 second.
Right, so just one last switch before we get to question and answer, I believe.
All right. Okay, let me share my screen again. Now I'm in my project here. This is XTRF XTM demo, and as you can see, the files are already here, and I can download them. They've been already created. I can download them from here, or from here is the PM. So they're already here. In a lovely zip container. And that should be in German now, of course, without any post editing. That's it. That concludes the round trip. And Bartosz, should I give it back to you? Or
I think maybe Billy will just summarize what we have done today.
Okay, cool. So I'll stop sharing my screen. Yeah, okay. Billy was quicker.
All right. Well, thank you guys for that terrific demonstration. It really showed the power of the integration and how to leverage both systems for it. So I wanted to just, as we wrap up and get ready to shift into question and answer, just wanted to give a brief overview of and a reminder of the power of this integration. So in closing, this integration ultimately allows for the automatic creation of a new fully integrated project in XTRF based on an XTM project. It also allows for real-time synchronization of the XTM workflow steps on the process card in the XTRF project. And among other things, it also allows for the creation of secure links to XTM Workbench so it can be shared with XTRF linguists and LSPs. I think ultimately, to sum it up well, the integration empowers you to select the best linguist for your localization project and enable them to work from the best TMS out there. So with that being said, one final piece before we shift into Q&A, I would like to just launch a brief poll question just to get some feedback from those of you that have just witnessed and verified this demonstration here about ultimately if you would like to learn more about the XTM and XTRF connector. So you should see that poll question launching now, and you should see some different options available there. So feel free to select the option that best suits you. Certainly, this is an optional poll question, but I see that we've already got about 40% of the audience that have voted. So we'll leave this open just for about 10 more seconds or so. while we have this poll question open, this is also a great opportunity to head over to the GoToWebinar panel and enter in any questions that you have, as we'll have a few minutes here for Q&A before we wrap up.
And we already have questions, Billy.
We do, that's great. So I'll go ahead and close down the poll, and we'll shift into our Q&A slide here. And just, maybe first question here that I'd just like to ask our presenters is, when is this integration available?
All right, let me take this question, Billy. The integration is already released. It was released in 9.4 version of XTRF. And of course, if any of attendees are interested in it, feel free to contact your customer success manager, and he or she should instruct you how to get it working fully.
Awesome. Let's move on to another question. Looks like we've got plenty in here, so I'll pick a few, and if any questions we don't get to answer, we'll certainly follow up. So one question that came in, can the integration create or clone a task inside a project instead of a new project?
I think that would be for you, Bartosz.
Yes. So right now, this is still, I would say, an early phase for this connected, and right now it's not. But this is our goal, to make it dual way and to have an option to synchronize at any given moment. But to be clear, right now it's not yet available.
All right. Let's look at another question here with a couple minutes we have remaining. Can this work with classic projects in XTRF?
So it's again to me. No, this integrations only supports XTRF smart projects, and right now there are no plans to making the same connector available for the classic projects.
Okay. Let's talk about another question here. Let's see. Can the user download the target file in XTRF?
Seems like most questions will be directed to us. Right now, no. This is on our go-to list. One of the key features to be added soon. It does not have any release date, but I have seen it that this is it is a major point of discussion from both us and XTM guys when it comes to working on this together. That's the plan right now. No.
Perfect. So plenty of buildings that we'll be able to continue to build on this integration here as we go forward. Maybe one more question here, since we're getting to the bottom of the hour here. So if we work in XTM for other LSPs, will we be able to connect to their system somehow? In that case, what if we work with many LSPs that work in the same way?
I think that this is how the integration has been built, that basically it allows you to have one XTM as a parent to multiple XTRFs, and because the connection currently is built between clients and XTRF instance, you should be able to do it this way. When it comes to the technical point of this, I am not as savvy as I would like to be with it, so it's hard for me to tell exactly how it is going to be done. But yeah, that's the case. This is how it was built. Not sure if it's yet supported, but this is a good moment for me to add that this integration heavily relies on users' feedback. So basically, we wait for you guys to test it, to tell us what's the most important, what should be added or what have to be added, and then we will, together with XTM, build it for you, rather, just us think about what's the most appropriate way of using the connector.
Perfect. Well, there were certainly some other questions that have come in, but just being mindful of time here, and we'll go ahead and wrap up for today's presentation. Certainly, if you asked a question that was not answered on the call today, we'll aim to follow up with you individually as soon as possible. So thank you all for taking the time to join us today to learn more about this integration. You will receive a bit more information in a survey following the webinar itself. So be sure to be on the lookout for that. And you also have access to the recording, as we mentioned at the beginning. So with that, we'll go ahead and wrap up. Thank you again to our presenters and to all of you for joining us, and we'll see you again soon. Bye for now.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye-bye.